Well, good morning, Glue Troopers, and welcome back to Max's Models. I just got done reading the book by Martin Middlebrook, The Schweinfurt-Regensburg Mission, and although I knew that battle was a rough one, I didn't appreciate just how bad. Man, that got tough to read at times. Well, that got me in the mood to go ahead and do this Messerschmitt build. I had bought this kit at JaxCon because, more for nostalgic reasons, I bought it so many times, both in the old box with the artwork and again in this photograph box art or box cover that was, I think, done around 1973 when they switched from art to photographs for a lot of the images. That's still subject to some debate. Some people say it was for legal reasons, truth in advertisement. Others say it was for economic reasons. They didn't have to pay royalties to artists. It was cheaper to do a build-up than to do actual artwork because, well, you didn't have to pay the artist and you didn't have to wait so long. Now, this one particular kit is sans the normal German tail markings. We all know what I'm referring to, so I won't go into detail on that because of the algorithm. But that makes me think it's probably a later one. You know, I should go look at that and see. And but I think they switched to this box art around box cover around 73, if I'm not mistaken. And there were several iterations of it, but I'm not really sure what all the changes were. But anyway, so I thought we would unbox this kit and see if it's the way I remember it. As I recall, these kits only had about 15 or 20 pieces to them, 25, something like that. Wasn't a lot of detail, but then that made sense back then because there wasn't really any detail you could see. This is before 1/48 scale models with fully detailed engines and opening canopies and everything else where you can see all this incredible detail we've gotten used to today was around. These are really the models of my youth, and I probably built everything in the Monogram single engine 1/48 scale World War II fighter plane category more than anything else. I don't know how many times I had this kit, but I'm going to say, now I want to say I probably had it about 6 times, but probably more like 3 or 4, you know, memory and all that. And I'm going to talk about my build plan. So you guys are going to see me knock off the original cello here. Depending on when this kit was actually manufactured, this is at least 30, if not possibly 50-year-old cellophane. Still has the old price tag you can't read, but I'll bet it was $1. There's another price tag on back, but it's not readable. All right, let's take a look at it. Pretty good condition, big crease in the box, but that's about it. Yep, this is the one I remember. Still in green. All right, we have the fuse. Oh, I forgot the rudder was separate on this. For some reason, I was thinking it was all one piece. See? Faulty old man memory. So let's see. Okay, the fuselage has the tail and the gear doors and antenna. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, there's 8 parts. There's something else. It's one. Oh, that's not an antenna. Those are struts for the underneath the tail. You'll notice that the E model still has the strutted tail. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces there. And of course, virtually no detail in the cockpit. Here we have the one-piece propeller and spinner, landing gears, pilot, back plate for the pilot, the pin, the shaft for the propeller, the wheels. Oh, there is another part of the spinner here. So that's going to be a trick to paint. The guns and the pitot tube and the antenna. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 parts. I believe we said there were 8 on there, so that's 19 parts. 20, 21, 22. And the canopy makes 23 parts. And of course we have the old school decals sans the tail marking. So this is the kit that I remember building as a kid so many times. And what I'll probably do on this, I want to make it, I'd said before, I think at the live stream, that I usually didn't have money for paint as a kid, so I just built them green, which the old box art, the airplane was green, so maybe I might paint the underside, you know, light blue or something, and that was it. But I've always wanted to mark one up just like this. I thought that was a pretty spiffy paint job, and that's my goal on this one. So what I think I'm going to do is probably paint the top of the wings before I put the model together. I'll pre-fit everything. Paint the top of the wings before I put the model together. Probably put the fuselage together and paint it before the wing goes on. So I have to have a build plan. So what I plan to do is detail the pilot a little bit, and of course I'll paint the inside of the cockpit. I believe that's an RLM light bluish green, if I remember correctly. I have to go look it up. Then put the fuselage together. Put the canopy on, the pilot will already be in, the cockpit will already be painted. And then I'll, once the canopy sealed, clear coat it, mask it, mask it, prime it. Well, actually, it might not be bad to give it a shot of clear coat first, get the paint something to bite into. That's a thought. Gloss coat would probably be the best thing. Then I can put it together, sand it down, put the canopy on it, prime it, paint the entire fuselage before the wings or anything go on. Then paint the tail pieces separately, paint the wing top separately, the bottom separately. That way when I put it together, and of course obviously with that complex multicolored spinner, I'm going to have to assemble the prop assembly and paint that in advance, but at least the prop is already black. So white and followed by the red. And then just put it together, and the last thing I'll have to do is primarily touch up the wing area where it meets to the fuselage and give that a reshoot, but that should be just about it. Of course, to detail out the gears and everything separately. But I think this is going to be a lot easier if I pre-paint it. That's the goal, that's the plan. Not sure how quick I'll get to it, but I do plan to start on it today. Of course, the very detailed Monogram instruction sheet, and I always like that they also gave you the exploded drawing. Oh, I can count all the parts here. 3, 4, 5, 26. 26 parts. Well, there we have it. The vintage 148 scale Monogram BF or ME-109E. And don't get me started on the whole BF ME thing. It's to do with the contracting, the company changing hands and changing hands again. And ME stands for Messerschmitt, and BF for Bayerische Flugzeugwerks. And that's a whole thing in its own right. I also going to get to work on the Johan Cadillac today. It's a really good kit. I expect to get a lot of work done today. By the way, before I forget, I have a glue trooper has the old Aurora CF100 kit, but he didn't have any decals. If anybody's got some or knows where you can find some, leave it in the comment section below. All right, guys, that's it for this morning. Maybe I'll have something to show you this afternoon. Take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.